Hi.
Hi there.
You're dying a little bit. How you doing?
Mm.
Because
I'm assuming you just asked me, did I finish the class trial?
that's what it sounds like.
Well, you see, the answer is yes.
Yeah. You see why I said call me when you're done, because you're gonna want to talk about it.
Oh, I want to talk about it, alright.
Yeah.
Where shall we begin?
How about the part where they broke their own rules?
Okay, well, first of all, I mean, we don't even have to start there. Let's start with the easy one. So Shuichi, that useless fuck, he checks the victim, Rantaro, he checks his pocket to see, hey, let's check to see if he had the key card, because if he had the key card, we'll know he's the mastermind, woohoo, but then proceeds to not carry that logic forward and say, hey, so if I'm gonna check his pockets, how about we ask every other student in the room to empty their pockets to check to see if they have the key card, and end this game immediately? No, that make too much sense? Okay, just making sure. Speaking of which, let's move on to the actual class trial. So they have this part where the characters are like, hey, Sumigi wasn't in the dining hall for a little bit. What's that about? And then she's like, oh, I was just in the bathroom. And then someone else's, that little useless ex-con fuck was like, she could have disguised herself as someone else, you see? And then she could have gone around and murdered him as someone else, you see? And my brain just wanted to explode because that's like, no.
You see?
Huh?
You see? That impression. You see? Pushes up glasses.
Yeah, basically. So, okay, these stupid useless chodes. Okay, so they're like, oh, well, that makes sense. She would have disguised herself as someone else and did a Don Paolo from Professor Layton, and then she would have been able to kill someone. Of course. But then we're like, okay, this is dumb. But, I mean, it's dumb for two reasons. Because, one, that would never be the case. Two, apparently she can't disguise herself as other people because dressing up as other people causes her to have an allergic reaction.
She's the cosplayer.
Which makes no sense. That's not how this works. You don't have an allergic reaction from dressing up as real people. That makes no sense. Why? Okay, but we're not done yet, because after that, after hearing that she can't have dressed up as someone else, everyone's just like, oh, okay, well then I guess she couldn't have done it. What? How do you chain that logic together? Okay, she would never have killed anybody by dressing up as someone else because we don't have any proof that it's not like there's a contradiction of events where it's like this person was seen there but they were also seen there. How could that be? Oh, it's because she dressed up as someone else. Except no, wouldn't be the case because she couldn't have done that. No, this was never an issue. Why is that the thing that people assumed is the case? Just ask her if she has the key card. Her alibi. Okay, like the fact that she can't. This is what pissed me off, is that the fact that she can't have changed into somebody else doesn't clear her alibi. It just means she couldn't have dressed up as one of the other characters. Her alibi, there's still a large chunk of time where her alibi is completely unaccounted for, where she's not in that dining hall. Like, I don't, did they think that made sense? Because I don't know. Because then what's hilarious is that alibi they dismiss immediately, but freaking Gonta is gentleman. Gonta no hurt no people. Is that guy, you know, the guy who lived with...
Bug one?
Huh?
The bug guy?
Yes, the bug guy. The guy who was raised by ocelots or whatever. They're like, oh, it might be him. We don't know. I mean, yes, he was trapped in a room with no other possible exit because the door couldn't open. But, you see...
The room with no exit.
The door could open a little bit. Therefore, he might have been able to stick his arm out the door and throw it across the hall. And it's not like she brings this up and then they immediately go, oh, well, that obviously makes no sense. You're an idiot. No, they talk about this for a solid, like, 10 minutes before you finally get a chance to go, No, you idiots, the bookcase was open. You know the bookcase was open because you have the photos of the bookcase being open. So if he tried to throw the shot put ball, it would have just clunked against the books. What are you... So that alibi, it takes 10 minutes to clear, but hers, they're just like, oh, she had an allergic reaction to dressing up as another person. They're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Of course. Just the whole class trial in general was just spent meandering about random nonsense that makes no sense. Like, just meandering about complete and utter random garbage with, like, the other games, at least, they were long, but they at least had a general sense of staying on track and staying the course and making sure the topic is relevant to what they're actually discussing. But this time, they're just like, nah, we'll just... Huh?
And everything kind of made sense in most senses?
And, I wouldn't push it that far. I would say they kept on topic. I would not push it to say that they usually made sense. I wouldn't go that far. It's Danganronpa, remember? But they usually stayed on topic. That they did. This game, they're like, higgledy-piggledy, the little Monokuma Bowser Jr. kids are like, whatever. Because it's just, I guess, rambling. I guess the class trials weren't long enough, so we need to make them ramble some more. That inventor piece of crap, she's like, she went like an hour without mentioning the camera intervals because she's an idiot and she's useless. Like, this is the thing you mentioned in the beginning. But all of that pales in comparison to the big reveal, which is that, as it turns out, Kaida, the person you're playing as, really killed Rantaro. Fuck me!
I was saying, how did I somehow just not mention anything about Kanane for the entire time about this, for the entire time leading up to this game? I managed to keep my mouth shut on a spoiler at least, but... Well,
it's because I wasn't trying to bait it out of you, but, so, I have some questions.
Like who you're playing as now?
Well, no, that's obvious. You're gonna play as Shuichi. Obviously. Obviously, that's who you're gonna end up playing as. There's no question there.
Okay, yeah.
My question would be, one, why would you ever risk that? All they knew, when she was in that room, the only thing she knew was that someone interacted with the bookcase. That could have been literally anybody. And as it turns out, it was literally anybody. She had no way to know. She had no way to know that was the mastermind. Literally no way she could have possibly confirmed that information. The whole reason they did this plan in the first place was so that they could figure out who the mastermind was. But the reason why they weren't hiding in the room is because they needed photographic evidence. The point was, hide in the room, let the cameras do their thing, wait for them to take the pictures, then go get the pictures, look at them, and figure out what's going on, then use that information to help uncover the identity of the mastermind. The plan was not... The plan was not set up the cameras and then hide in your room and then abandon the plan and just run down to the library anyway. What was the point? But again, on Kaida's side of things, I like to the logic is that, oh, the camera went off because the bookcase opened and only the mastermind could have opened the bookcase, therefore it must have been them. But what these brain dead writers fail to realize is that the only reason that Shuichi and Kaida know about this bookcase at all is because Shuichi had to find the bookcase. And Shuichi is not the mastermind, so he had to consciously find the bookcase and open it up himself, and yet he wasn't the mastermind. Almost like anybody who's inquisitive and curious and explorative enough has the capability to walk into that library, open the bookcase, and see what's inside for themselves, meaning that she literally was willing to kill whoever was opening the bookcase, no matter who the mastermind was. Dumbass. What was this plan? This was absolutely moronic.
Have you reached the end of this?
The game or the trial?
The complaints.
No, I have not. I paused to see if you had anything to say to that.
No, I have nothing to say to that.
Okay, at least I won't get any resistance on that point. Okay, next point.
Oh no, you did see my reaction to this game, right? You did some of my feelings, and I know more than you, and it's kind of sad what I know is coming.
Great. I can't wait to find out. Wait, you mean it gets worse from here?
Well, there's still how much of the game left?
That's not a reassuring answer. Does it get worse? I'm in chapter 1. Does it get worse from here or not?
Fine, worse.
That's not a reassuring answer.
Define words.
Do things make more or less sense the further I get?
Well, I'll summarize it like this. I told you I know the ending, but I don't understand it at all.
Oh. Oh.
Is this shaping up to be worse than V3 somehow?
You mean Danganronpa 3?
Is this shaping up to be worse than Danganronpa 3?
No, because at least in this game, there's a cast of characters that are actually, like, that aren't complete assholes and well, okay, idiots is one thing. They're characters you want to spend time with here, whereas in the anime, they're just like, I don't know, insert cardboard cutouts 1, 2, through 75.
1, 2, 3 through 75.
But the one, okay, before, I have more things to say here, but before I go on, I'll just say, look, no matter how little sense it makes, the one reassuring thing I have is that because, like, it's a completely different story, it's divorced from the main trilogy, so if nothing else, at least they can't break this world even more than they already broke it. Because they already destroyed the world in Danganronpa 3, so they literally can't break this world even more. It can't be done. It's a completely new story, completely divorced, so they can fuck around with their own world rules that they want, but you're not touching the original games. Those are set in stone, they're done, the damage is done, they can't break them any more than they already have. At the very least, I have that going for me.
When are you gonna play the next part? I don't know what the next part is. I actually don't know the other.
Well, before I go on, I'd like to mention really quickly. I don't think this game knows how science works.
Yeah, I don't think either.
So the logic behind this case is that she
laughs.
I can't. It's so stupid. Okay, so she put the shot put ball into the vent, which, first of all, I don't think. I looked it up. These shot put balls can weigh upwards of 16 pounds. If she put that ball in her backpack, after not being used to carrying her backpack with something that heavy for extended periods of time.
You asked me about that?
Yes.
Oh, no, I've carried a shot put ball before. Not that bad.
Okay, so using your hands, like both hands to carry them, is a bit different than putting it in your back, because what happens when you put something heavier in your backpack is you tilt backwards. She would not have been able to walk normally with that thing in her backpack.
Sure. Okay, continue.
Yeah, so, but more to the point. So, putting that aside, she picks up the shot put ball, and she rolls it down the vent, which could have been smart if it weren't for the fact that the setup, first off, the setup to this is nonsense. The setup is like, oh, I stacked up some books in front of the vent so that they couldn't get through the vent, which, first of all, Shuichi should have said, that makes no sense. One, if you wanted to block, okay, first of all, no one's fitting through this vent. This vent is so goddamn small. They show her put her hand in the vent, and it almost reaches the ceiling, the ceiling of the vent. No human is crawling through that thing. It's not happening. So the plan to block it off is useless. But Shuichi, what he should have said is, okay, so you want to block them from getting through the vent. Then why did you take off the grate covering the vent? You left it wide. You had to manually remove the grate covering the vent. And yet you claim that you want to block it. It's okay, so then she stacks some books up in front of it. Not blocking the vent, mind you. But even if the books were blocking the vent, who cares? Because all you would have, let's say you're the murderer and you're crawling through the vent, okay? And then you reach the end and you see this tower of books. You're like, uh-oh, I guess my plan's thwarted. Time to crawl back. No, you would just punch out the books because they're books. They will collapse instantly. It's not like she's putting up a giant cinder blocks tower. They're just books. They'll collapse instantly. But she doesn't even do that because she just stacks them in front of, like, on the shelf below the vents is where she stacks them. What is that gonna do? That's not going to stop them. I guess maybe it's just prevent them from being able to land on the shelf. But again, just kick out the books before you step out of the vent so that you can step... This makes no sense. But putting all that aside, it makes no sense anyway because the game wants you to believe that when the ball rolls out of the vent, it lands on the books, is stopped by the books, rolls to the right, and then falls off the shelf and clocks Rentaro in the head. No. Just straight up no. That shot put ball weighs, first of all, whether it weighs anywhere from 6 to 16 pounds, because that's the average range of those things, It is not going to be stopped by books. The books weigh less than the shot put ball. If that thing came tearing out of the vent, you know what would have happened? It would have annihilated this. It would have landed on the edge of the books and would have sent the pile of books flipping over, and it would have smacked down against the carpet of the library. It would not. The book would not have stopped the ball. And, like, even if it was stacked up vertically to the point where, like, the ball would have hit the inside pages of the book like a wall, it still would have toppled over the book. It would not have started rolling along the shelves to the right-hand side. That is ludicrous. Like, I like to remind you, this ball is capable of instantly killing Rantaro through blunt force trauma. It would not be stopped by a book. That is utter nonsense. These stupid... I'm starting to think that Spike Chunsoft was sent to this planet to test me. Like, I think they were generally put on this earth to test my patience in every facet of design. Because this is so monumentally broken from every facet. Because putting all the science aside, putting her motive aside, how she's stupid and how she didn't think about anything, putting aside the fact that their plan makes no sense, that they didn't ask for the key card, how Tsumigi's alibi isn't cleared, how the class trial is meandering about utter nonsense, how she didn't bring up the intervals until way too goddamn late. They have written themselves into the worst corner imaginable, because I'd like to remind you, in the previous games, Monokuma made a big deal about the fact that even Monokuma will not break his own rules. He is a malicious son of...
We finally reached the breaking your own rules thing.
He is a malicious son of a gun who is trying to get all these kids to murder each other. However, the one thing that he always stayed consistent on is that he adheres to his own rules. He sets out the rules for the students to follow, and he adheres to them. And the proof of this is in Danganronpa 2, when Fuyuhiko is in danger of dying as a result of him trying to save Peiko in the execution in Chapter 2. Monokuma's like, aha, fun, more death, and the kids are like, wait a minute, no, Monokuma, your rules say that only the blackened shall be punished, not Fuyuhiko too, and then he's like, fine, I guess I'll just take him to the hospital or whatever. So then he takes him to the hospital, he may begrudgingly do it, but he still does it. What the hell, Jesus, really? I got a Twitch notification now? Really? Okay, that's cool. I freaking, okay. Where was I? Right, so he begrudgingly does it, but he still does it because he still follows his own rules. But in this stupid game, it's the first case, and already they have dug themselves into a hole they cannot possibly dig themselves out of. Unless you have another answer to this, as far as I'm aware, the rule is that only the blackened is supposed to be punished. But Kaede, you've already confirmed to me, is not the blackened, which means that somehow that shot put ball actually missed the target, and Tsumigi came out of that stupid door, picked up the ball, and threw it at Rantaro and killed him instead. So Tsumigi is the blackened, not Kaede. So now I open the floor to you. You don't have to give me any spoilers. I'm not trying to trick you. No spoilers here. Just please, I beg of you, tell me. You don't have to give me specifics. But do they write themselves out of this corner, or is this story permanently fucked?
I'm going to be honest with you. I have no idea how I know what happens, but I don't know how they explain why it happened. Because I didn't actually... my brain melted at the ending enough, so I'm like, yeah, that's about as far as I'm going with that. I know what happened. I'm not going to ask why it happened, because my brain's already imploding in on itself.
Yeah, that's about how I felt when I was playing through this nightmare.
So I think they probably did write something about it somewhere, but I don't have the answer for you.
This was supposed to be the good one. This game, I heard people in the comments saying like, oh dude, he's gonna hate this game, and then some people were like, no, this is the best game in the series, best characters, best stories, oh, everything about it is so good, this was supposed to be the good one, this was supposed to be the good one. Oh. Okay, do you, let's try to end this on a positive note. Putting the ending aside, do the other chapters get better? Like, is this core mystery as broken as things get?
I'm thinking. What are the other murders? So all the other ones are pretty standard.
Okay, well, standard for Danganronpa doesn't mean much, but, you know.
Better than the first one.
Okay, good. It's better, because that's the thing. Danganronpa, the first two Danganronpa games had pretty decent mysteries for the most part. Pretty good cases. Chapter 3 is terrible in both games, but the first game, chapters 1, 2 were pretty good. 4 was excellent. 5 was okay. Game 2, Chapter 1 was excellent. Chapter 2 was horrible. Chapter 3 was also horrible. Chapter 4 was pretty good. Excuse me. Chapter 5 would have been excellent were it not for Nagito's stupid luck thing. But both games fell apart at the ending because they can't write final payoffs well. So long as the rest of the cases are good, or not even just decent, just give me something that follows logically. You don't even have to blow my mind with some ingenious plot twists. Because you know what, I'll say this. This is the first time that I didn't see this coming. Because I've been able to predict almost every single element of these cases throughout all the Danganronpa games. But this is the first time that I've not seen it coming. But the reason why...
Thing?
Huh?
Is that a good thing?
No! Well, okay, that makes it... Okay, it's not bad because I didn't see it coming. But the reason I didn't see it coming...
It's not a good thing.
The reason I didn't see it...
Because of the reason you didn't see it coming.
Yes, which is that it makes no goddamn sense. For instance, in Investigations 2, I did not foresee the mega mastermind behind everything. I did not see that coming literally at all. That was, like, that completely blew my mind. But that made sense. Like, there were pieces of information all throughout the 5 cases of that game that follow logically into a cohesive overall picture. So I could have seen it coming, I just didn't catch all the details. So like, I wasn't upset at that. But the reason I didn't see this coming, and the reason that I didn't see the stupid cloak bust trick bullshit in Turnabout Big Top from Justice for All, is because neither of those things make any goddamn sense at all. Excuse me. The cloak in Justice for All just accidentally happened to snag onto the bust, which makes the entire case unravel instantly. Bullshit. In this game, the entire premise... Like, it's all broken. Her motive is broken. The character's reactions are broken. The physics behind that shot put ball rolling are broken. The fact that they let Sumika off the hook is broken. None of this makes any sense. There's no way I could have possibly foreseen that Kaede... You know, I'll give some points. They established, like, there were some things I think there was a line of dialogue in the warehouse where Kaede said, I put the things I was holding in my hand into my backpack, which makes it clear that's like, okay... We're not specifying that she doesn't have the shot put ball, but we're not going overboard with it so that you don't look too far into it, but when you look back on it, you're like, I see what you did there, game. The problem is that you're building, that's a setup for a payoff that makes no sense. This is supposed to be the good one. This is supposed to be the good one.
Keep repeating that to yourself.
Maybe it's not Spike Chunsoft, maybe it's just Team Danganronpa, because that's the thing, apparently. I don't know, but I don't know why.
Because
but
I've told you they made the Mystery Dungeon games. And those are amazing.
I'll take your word for it. But Spike Chunsoft has not demonstrated competence with Zero Escape or Danganronpa, so I don't have a great reason to trust them for literally anything right now.
Okay, so the Mystery Dungeon games, they're another spin-off of the Pokemon games. I played those like religiously when I was younger. They were so much fun.
Right then.
They also made some of the Dragon Quest games, and I love fucking Dragon Quest.
They made some, yes, but they're a small cog in the machine. That's Square Enix's franchise. I'm guessing they're more like they're the Peiko. They
probably do this.
They are Square Enix as Peiko is to Fujihiko, a tool to get the job done.
Yes, but they're really good games.
Yeah, but so maybe it's not them. Maybe it's just Team.
Maybe it's Team Danganronpa.
Because I didn't even know it was a thing. They've never called themselves Team Danganronpa until this game. Like in this game, there's a big bright sign on the front of the building, like Team Danganronpa, and then there's that stupid teaser. Why did they put a teaser trailer in the beginning of the game? Why I didn't need to see more reminders of Danganronpa 3 existing. They show a teaser trailer of the first game, the second game, Ultra Despair Girls, and then fucking Danganronpa 3. And then they're like, this story isn't over yet. And then the Team Danganronpa logo. Was that a thing? I don't remember them ever, because like the Sonic team, like Sonic Team for the Sonic games, they have Sega, and then there's a subsidiary that's Sonic Team. That's the team that makes the Sonic games. But they've never called themselves Team Danganronpa prior to this point.
I think they may have gone through a name change.
Well,
because a lot of companies still like. Because Danganronpa is one of their successful franchises, so like,
which is hilarious to me.
So they probably made a dedicated team for the third one.
Wait, no, that doesn't make any sense. Hold on a minute. Wait, hold on. I think I might have just spotted a contradiction because they can't keep anything consistent. I'm gonna hold on a minute. Because the Danganronpa Decadence trailer, I don't remember seeing that at all. I don't remember seeing that logo at any point in the Danganronpa Decadence trailer.
Did you watch the Decadence trailer? I didn't watch it.
Wait, I was co-streaming the.
Long enough.
I was reacting to the
game.
Huh?
Summer Games thing. Yeah, that makes sense.
Not that. Sorry, it aired during the Nintendo Direct. That's what I reacted to that in the channel.
Oh, it was Nintendo Direct. Oh, that makes sense.
Because of course it was.
Well, it is Nintendo. It's on the Switch.
Well, no, it's going to be on the Switch. That was what the announcement was, is that they were putting it on the Switch. And that they're announcing a brand new game. Hold on, I'm skimming through the trailer right now. Yeah, no, wait, something's not right here. Are you sure they went through a name change? Because that name isn't anywhere on this trailer.
Man, I don't know. I don't follow the company. I just know they exist, and that's
Ultimate Beach.
Hold on, I'm gonna look this up. Something's not right here. Team Danganronpa Twitter. Let me find the Twitter of this place.
Do they have a Twitter account? I think
no.
their Twitter's Danganronpa.
Team Danganronpa at Dangan_team Twitter. Team. This doesn't seem. No, this is not correct at all. They have 83 followers. That's not correct. This can't be right.
Why don't we watch Avatar instead?
No, there's no account for this.
I'm gonna stop you right now before you accidentally do something stupid.
Why?
Because you're gonna kick yourself.
Why?
Let's watch Avatar, shall we?
No, you're not getting away from this one. No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Why would I be kicking myself for looking up the team that made Danganronpa?
Avatar. Do you want to hear more about DC Comics?
But apparently what's happening here is that this is all, like, a TV show. We're being broadcast for the people out there in the wasteland or whatever to watch as a symbol of, like, as a symbol of entertainment for some insane reason. I think. I'm almost positive I remember that being a thing.
I just heard something hit something.
I just remembered something. So, my heart just dropped into my stomach. So one of the first things that I heard about Danganronpa was that one of the big reveals is that it was all being aired as a part of a television show, which I talked about in episode 17 or something. So in my LP of the first game, because like one of the reveals in that game, I think it was episode 16. I don't know. What 16 or 17. When the reveal happens that they're being broadcast live on air. Like Junko's broadcasting the thing to the world. I basically had the same reaction I just had right now, which was, oh, I remember hearing that. I remember hearing before I started Danganronpa that like the big reveal at the end of the game is that it's all an elaborate show being put on for the world. I was under the impression, at least, that was what that was referring to. But the only reason I can think as to why you'd be trying to stop me from looking up the phrase Team Danganronpa, if it's truly, because you are telling me that A, they are the team that made Danganronpa, and that they simply underwent a name change at some point. But you were also telling me that looking up the name Team Danganronpa is a spoiler for the game franchise. Surely you understand that those two statements can't coexist with each other and both be simultaneously true.
Yes.
Okay. So with that in mind, what I realized is that there was a lot of references in this game, not in any of the other games, but specifically in this game, that referring to a script, and sticking to the script, and not going off script, and making sure it all plays according to plan. And I think Kayada even had a specific line in the end of the prologue saying, as if we're in a fictional scenario or something, and I think her first line is, I am the protagonist of this story, which was fucking bullshit, by the way, but I am the protagonist of this story.
I am the protagonist of the story dies in the first episode.
And as the cherry on top of this, the only reason I can think as to why they would go out of their way to show a teaser trailer for all the games up until this point, and then say the story isn't over, followed by a Team Danganronpa logo, and why you'd be trying to stop me from looking up that name, is if it's going to be, because I have heard so many goddamn people talk about how the ending of this game is, like, the worst thing ever. The only thing I can think of, and god damn it, I don't want to say this, but is it going to be revealed that Team Danganronpa is an in-universe company that is putting on, that has put on all the events of the first few games as a show for the world to enjoy, and that none of it meant anything at all?
My grand answer to that question is, I actually don't know the answer to it.
Well, we know that's not true, because you tried to stop me from looking it up, which means you know I was getting close to something.
I looked it up ahead of you because I'd never heard of it before.
Which means you knew I was getting close to the truth.
Well, I'd never heard of it before. I was like, what the hell is Team Danganronpa? That's probably just a name change, and I brushed it off. Because,
let me tell you something, if that's true, that is going to annihilate the entire Danganronpa series.
I'll let you get to the end of the game then.
Oh my god, I swear to god, they better not pull that shit. They better not pull that shit.